Welcome to another episode of Top 10 with Mars. Today, we're going to take a look at the top 10 most memorable and impactful speeches in history. These speeches have left a lasting impact on the world and continue to inspire generations. 1. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech delivered on August 28, 1963 during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. The speech called for an end to racial segregation and discrimination in the United States and is considered one of the defining moments of the civil rights movement. 2. John F. Kennedy's "Ask Not What Your Country Can Do For You" speech delivered on January 20, 1961 during his inaugural address. The speech inspired a generation of Americans to dedicate themselves to public service and is considered one of the most inspiring presidential speeches in U.S. history. 3. Winston Churchill's "We Shall Fight on the Beaches" speech delivered on June 4, 1940. This speech rallied the British people during the early days of World War II and inspired them to keep fighting even in the face of adversity. 4. Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, delivered on November 19, 1863. This speech, delivered during the American Civil War, redefined the purpose of the war as a struggle for freedom and equality and remains one of the most famous speeches in U.S. history. 5. Nelson Mandela's "I Am Prepared to Die" speech delivered on April 20, 1964 during his trial for treason. This speech, delivered while Mandela was facing the possibility of a death sentence, inspired the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa and remains one of the most powerful speeches of the 20th century. 6. Barack Obama's "A More Perfect Union" speech delivered on March 18, 2008. This speech, delivered during Obama's campaign for the presidency, addressed the controversy surrounding his former pastor, Reverend Wright, and sought to bridge the divide between different races in America. 7. Malala Yousafzai's "How Dare the Taliban Take Away My Basic Right to Education" speech delivered on July 12, 2013. This speech, delivered by the then 15-year-old activist, challenged the Taliban's ban on girls' education and inspired a generation of young activists around the world. 8. Joan of Arc's "I Am Not Afraid" speech delivered in 1431. This speech, delivered by the teenage warrior, inspired the French army to fight against the English during the 100 Years' War and remains one of the most inspiring speeches in history. 9. FDR's "Day of Infamy" speech delivered on December 8, 1941. This speech, delivered the day after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, rallied the American people to enter World War II and remains one of the most famous speeches in U.S. history. 10. Emmeline Pankhurst's "Freedom or Death" speech delivered on November 13, 1913. This speech, delivered by the leader of the British suffragette movement, inspired a generation of women to fight for the right to vote and remains one of the most powerful speeches of the 20th century. That concludes our list of the top 10 most memorable and impactful speeches in history. These speeches continue to inspire and motivate people around the world and serve as a testament to the power of words to change the world. Thank you for tuning into Top 10 with Mars. Join us next time for another exciting episode.